In the desolate expanse of the Judean desert, near the crumbling ruins of Qumran, a singular artifact emerged from the sands in 1952, captivating the imaginations of scholars, adventurers, and believers alike: the Copper Scroll. Unearthed among the Dead Sea Scrolls, this relic stands in stark contrast to its parchment siblings. While the other scrolls preserve religious teachings, hymns, and communal rules, the Copper Scroll is a pragmatic inventory, etched into a fragile sheet of copper, cataloguing immense treasures of gold, silver, and sacred objects, paired with cryptic directions to their hiding places. Since its discovery, it has fueled a heated debate. Is it a literal treasure map, guiding seekers to riches concealed in antiquity, or a divine mystery, veiling profound spiritual truths? More than 7 decades later, the Copper Scroll remains an enigma, weaving together the promise of material wealth with the allure of celestial secrets. Found in Cave 3 near Qumran, a site tied to the Essenes, a Jewish sect from the Second Temple period, circa 200 BCE to 70 CE, the Copper Scroll, known as 3Q15, is unlike any other Dead Sea Scroll. Crafted from nearly pure copper, a rare and expensive medium in antiquity, it was discovered rolled up, its surface corroded green by centuries of exposure. This choice of material hints at the significance of its contents. When experts painstakingly unrolled it, cutting it into strips to preserve its brittle form, they revealed a text in a colloquial Hebrew dialect, distinct from the formal language of the other scrolls. It lists 64 locations with treasures, such as, in the ruin that is in the valley of Acre, under the steps leading eastward, 40 cubits, a chest of silver and its vessels, weighing 17 talents. The total haul, estimated at 4,600 talents of gold and silver, would amount to tons of precious metal, a fortune that dazzles the mind. The most gripping interpretation posits the Copper Scroll as a genuine treasure map, a guide to wealth hidden by Jews before the Roman sack of Jerusalem in 70 CE. Advocates suggest it records the fate of the Jerusalem temple's riches: gold candelabras, silver incense burners, and tithes amassed over generations, smuggled out to thwart Roman plunder. The Jewish historian Josephus recounts the temple's opulence, including a golden table and vast stores of offerings, lending credence to this idea. The scroll's precise references to landmarks, cisterns, tombs, aqueducts, imply a practical intent, as if meant for someone who knew the terrain intimately. Yet, the treasure remains elusive. Expeditions, like those led by archaeologist John Allegro in the 1950s and 60s, combed the Qumran area without success. Modern efforts using drones and satellite imagery have fared no better. The directions, though detailed, are tethered to a landscape transformed by time, earthquakes, floods, and human activity, have erased many of the scroll's reference points. Moreover, the logistics of hiding such vast wealth raise questions. How could it be concealed without leaving traces, like storage pits or transport routes? Some theorize the treasures were retrieved in secret after the war, while others imagine they lie untouched, their guardians lost to history. The prospect continues to lure treasure hunters, fueled by tales of biblical wealth, awaiting discovery. An opposing view frames the Copper Scroll as a spiritual artifact, its treasure a metaphor, rather than a reality. Linked to the Essenes, a sect known for asceticism and apocalyptic beliefs, the scroll might encode a theological narrative. Its copper medium, durable and eternal, could symbolize a message meant to outlast empires, not to be dug up, but to inspire reflection. The listed treasures, some argue, represent divine blessings, or the promised restoration of Israel, echoing biblical themes of redemption. The sheer scale of the wealth, far exceeding what any ancient economy could sustain, suggests exaggeration, perhaps a nod to sacred numerology. For instance, distances like 40 cubits recall the 40 days of the flood, or the 40 years in the wilderness, hinting at a deeper layer of meaning. This perspective is bolstered by the scroll's context among the Dead Sea Scrolls, which include esoteric texts like the War Scroll and the Community Rule. The Essenes saw themselves as a remnant of the faithful, awaiting divine intervention. The Copper Scroll might be a coded vision of that future, its treasures a promise of spiritual inheritance, rather than coins and ingots. Some scholars even propose it's a priestly ledger, documenting tithes in symbolic terms to assert the sanctity of the temple's legacy after its destruction. Recent studies have added fresh dimensions to the debate. Linguistic analysis reveals the scroll's Hebrew incorporates Mishnaic elements, later than the classical Hebrew of other scrolls, suggesting it was written closer to the 1st century CE, possibly during or after the Jewish revolt. This timing aligns with the treasure map theory, placing it in a period of crisis, when hiding wealth would be urgent. Yet, the text also contains oddities, like Greek loanwords, talanton for talent, hinting at a broader cultural influence that might reflect symbolic intent, rather than a local inventory. Archaeologically, the scroll's copper composition has drawn scrutiny. Metallurgical tests show it was rolled while still malleable, then hardened, a labor-intensive process, implying a deliberate act of preservation. Traces of rivets suggest it was once fastened, perhaps displayed, or stored in a way that transcends a mere map's utility. Meanwhile, excavations near Qumran have uncovered pottery and coins from the Revolt era, but no sign of the scroll's treasures. This absence fuels the divine mystery camp, who argue the scroll's purpose was never tied to physical loot. A compelling middle ground suggests the Copper Scroll serves dual roles, a practical guide for a select few, and a spiritual allegory for the broader community. The Essenes' penchant for secrecy supports this idea. They wrote in codes, and hid their texts in caves. The scroll could be a cipher, its surface-level directions masking a message, decipherable only by initiates. The real treasure might be knowledge, or ritual purity, with the physical descriptions a test of faith, or a decoy for outsiders. This duality explains why it was preserved with sacred writings, yet reads like a catalogue, bridging the mundane and the mystical. Beyond academia, the Copper Scroll has left a mark on popular culture. It inspired novels like The Copper Scroll, by Joel C. Rosenberg, and documentaries, probing its secrets. Treasure hunters, from amateurs to well-funded teams, still scour Israel's deserts, drawn by its promise. Its mystique lies in its refusal to be pinned down, part Indiana Jones adventure, part biblical riddle. As technology advances, ground-penetrating radar, isotopic dating, machine learning, the Copper Scroll resists resolution. No gold has been unearthed, no definitive key unlocked. Is it a map to a lost fortune, a relic of a people's defiance against Rome? Or a divine mystery, a meditation on wealth and eternity, etched in metal? Perhaps it's both, a bridge between the earthly and the sacred, crafted by a community poised between survival and transcendence. For now, it remains a tantalizing puzzle, whispering of riches, material or spiritual, just beyond reach in the sands of Qumran. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on ancient mysteries, spirituality and self-development.